Hello, everyone. I am Lakin. I am the owner and founder of Elsy's LLC, and I just wanted to make a short little video kind of describing tarot, what tarot is, and doing a little bit of history on it, and also answering some common questions that I've received over the last couple of years of reading. I am a certified tarot reader, and I do professional readings. So, without further ado, I'm going to do a little bit of history and answer some questions. Tarot is a form of cartomancy that was brought to Europe in the 14th century. Tarot was used at first as a playing card game until it shifted focus at the beginning of the Renaissance. Over time, more information was shared linking tarot to divination in ancient Egypt, the Kabbalah, Indic Tantra, and the I Ching. It is not directly connected to any religion, however, it has been used as a divination tool for centuries. Tarot is not something that any specific one person can do. It's not held to a group of people or a religion, one way or the other. Anyone can read tarot. Personally, I found tarot when I was experiencing a rather rough point in my life. At first, it was just a coping skill I developed to help me focus my attention and calm down. I would do a reading for myself and then journal about it to see what connections I could help myself through, or what connections I could make to help myself through difficult or confusing times. The more I connected with the cards, the more I understood about myself. Once I had done it for myself for a while, I started doing readings for family and friends. I realized quickly how much a difference it could make for the people in my life and how much it had helped me. And I decided to take it to the next level and get certified and offer it to anyone who was looking for some guidance. Reading tarot is like having an outline to a story. After reading the outline, you can piece the rest together to assist people in their healing journey. Reading tarot takes time and practice. It comes easier to some and not so much to others. That's why I decided to do this video and also kind of like describe different questions or answer to the best of my ability different questions that I have gotten throughout my time of doing readings. So one of the number one questions I get, which is mildly frustrating, but I understand based on the United States being a very Christian country. So the question I get a lot is, isn't tarot evil? The quick answer is no, it's not. Like I mentioned previously, tarot is a divination tool. It's something that is used to connect to something that is bigger than us. It can be used as a coping tool, as a journal prompt, as a way to calm your mind. Tarot is a form of guidance that allows us to connect more deeply with ourselves and the world beyond our normal day-to-day what we see. Another question I get often is tarot witchcraft? This question tends to stump me just a little. It's both a yes and a no. I feel like witchcraft itself has a bad name thanks to modern movies and TV shows and just the media in general. I don't consider how I practice tarot as witchcraft. I'm not really sure why, but it just doesn't seem to suit how I'm utilizing this particular tool. For me, it's more about divination and connecting to a higher power, the universe, God, respectively, whatever you choose to call your higher power. Others would most definitely argue with me and say that it is witchcraft, and to that I say, to each their own. For me, it doesn't fit under that category. Another question I get a lot is, how does tarot work? There are two main things that matter when it comes down to getting an accurate reading: the reader's connection to the cards and the client's ability to be open-minded. I have had to turn away people in the past because they came in and I could just tell that they weren't really in it. They weren't open-minded to it. They were kind of skeptical. And if you're skeptical and unwilling to truly connect in the moment, the cards actually won't read for you. I have tried to force a reading when somebody wasn't really open, and it did not go well. It did not make any sense. The person was more confused than anything, and I ended up having to be honest with them at the end of the reading that it's just not, they were not open-minded enough, and the connection to the cards wasn't there, so they did not receive an accurate reading. it is all about connectedness and the ability to have an open mind. Tarot is one of the many things in the world that doesn't really have a true explanation of like how it works. It's part of the bigger picture that we're all living in. You have to trust the process. If you don't and you're not ready, the cards just are not going to make sense. That's my best description of how it works. It just kind of does or doesn't. The next question I get a lot is, how can tarot help me? This is up to you entirely. So how you perceive the reading and what you choose to do with the information after the reading is completely up to your discretion. I'm just a messenger. The cards are just a messenger. Your life is yours. So if you come in and you have a really in-depth reading and you have a really like emotional experience during the whole thing, and you decide to walk out of my door and make a life change or a life decision based on your reading, that has nothing to do with me. All I did was deliver a message, and how you choose to handle that message and where you go with it afterwards is truly completely up to you. If you leave and everything stays the same, you don't change anything, and it is what it is, then it is what it is. But it's entirely up to you how a tarot reading can help you. It has the ability to guide you, help you kind of understand your own inner workings and feelings a little bit better. It has the ability to make a big difference in your life, depending on how you choose to do whatever you do afterwards. Which leads me to, does tarot tell the future? That question. Okay, so that's my least favorite question, and kind of what I already discussed a little bit as far as what do you let it do for you. Tarot gives us potential outcomes based on how we're currently handling our lives, our emotions, and other people around us. I could give you some really rough information during a session, and you could walk out of my door and decide to make a change, like I said, and that information could completely void and be irrelevant anymore. It all depends on how you choose to live your life after a session. Like I mentioned before, I give the messages and the rest is up to you. People change the course of their futures every day just by making one tiny difference in how they handle things. So does tarot tell the future? It depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes it there's really no difference. So yeah, that's pretty much the explanation of that. And then the final question I'm going to answer in this video that I receive a lot, because I'm trying to not make this video a half an hour. I'd rather it to be kind of short and sweet and to the point. How often should I get a reading? Some people get a reading just because they want to for funsies. Some people are very religious about it. Some people will get one and never have one again. Some people will get one once a week, once a month, once a year, however. I do my own personal readings. I try to do at least a 1 to 3 card reading every day personally for me, but I am a reader, so I don't have to go and pay someone to do that every single day. And I generally recommend, if you don't do your own readings and you don't have the ability to, or you're not sure how to, or you don't ever really want to do your own, I recommend at least once per month. A lot can happen in a 30-day cycle, and it's important to kind of refresh and redirect after, a whole month. A lot can happen, especially if you're feeling stuck or you've had any major life changes. I do try to generally keep a record of who comes to see me, so I can keep up with them, kind of keep connected with them, and make sure that, they are, still working towards whatever they need to work towards. But I do generally recommend once a month. It is a great plan because it kind of helps you stay on track with, the questions that you originally came in with for your first reading to the second reading, seeing kind of your progress. It's a really good progress keeper a little bit, if that makes any sense. So I really hope that this video was informational, that it was helpful to you. If you have any other questions that I did not answer, please feel free to reach out to me. I actually would really appreciate, commenting and leaving a question so that in the future I can do another video and kind of explain even more in depth if there's something that's confusing or that doesn't make any sense to you, So just let me know if you want to know anything else, if you want to book an appointment, if you're curious, if you just, whatever. Feel free to contact me with any sort of questions, comments, concerns that you have. I am more than willing and able to answer and assist. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped kind of answer some questions, and thank you. Bye.